All right. Hello and good morning. We're still in morning? No, afternoon. Good
It's noon.
afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Salty Blowie, episode number 34. I messed up last week. We were on episode 33. So, yeah, we are on episode 34. For those of you that don't know, I am Scott O'Farrell, and right next to me is my wife, Jamie. Some people, what?
Okay.
Some people will plug in and wonder who the fuck they're listening to.
I don't know if I'm sending this.
Anyways, yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. Been a busy week. For those of you that aren't in California, our salons are back open, which means Jamie's back to work. And why don't you tell them what's new?
Well, technically, my business is not regulated by the state or the state board of cosmetology. So technically, I could have been open all the time. But being in salon settings makes it a little bit harder. And in fact, the salon opening, though, is only for hair. So nails, skin, estheticians and everything are not back to open, and that's the location I'm at is estheticians and lashes, and they are not open. So it's still unfortunate for a lot in the industry for sure, but I am working. I've been working, and I relocated as of last week, and that came. I don't know if that's my.
It probably is.
So yeah, so I relocated. We moved last Sunday, so it's been about a week, and all is good.
Yes, it was. Luckily, it was a quick move, easy. Other than the one booth.
So I purchased an extraction booth since the last time I moved, and the extraction booth that I purchased was actually already assembled where I relocated in my last relocation. So this was the first time we had to experience taking it down and moving it. And so, being that it was purchased already assembled, we didn't have all of the instructions, and so we had to learn as we went along. And unfortunately, at the move, I thought it was going to be like to maneuver it and just roll it out the door. Did not work, so we actually had to disassemble it down to every last piece.
Yes.
So taking it down definitely was harder than him putting it back together. I felt like the put back together was pretty quick and easy, but yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun, and it was hot as fuck out too.
That's how it's going to be this weekend.
I know. So we just went through a heat wave, and during that heat wave, we had two major fires near us, but 40 altogether throughout California. And tomorrow, what is it? What is it supposed to get up to in Paso?
113.
113. So we will be at the beach early. Yeah. Other than that, been a pretty smooth week. Let's see. I am down. Let's see. Total as of this morning. Make sure, is that you too?
Mm-hmm.
All right. As of this morning, it would be. I forget where my starting weight was when I did this, but I'm 9 pounds away from getting to 300, 10 from getting under, which would be awesome. Last night we ate. Didn't starve ourselves, but we did pretty much. Barely ate anything at the beach. Got sushi last night. Sometimes sushi, depending on what you get, can be full of sodium too. But already did a workout this morning. Jimmy and I are gonna hit the bike later tonight. Yeah, fitness is. I feel like it was a good week. Do you with your food?
For the most part, I mean, if you follow me, I'm pretty open about. So we've recorded since I talked about my 30-day detox, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm about 7 days left, maybe just less than a week, possibly. I'll have to double check my numbers. And I feel overall I've done really well. Not perfect. And I mean, in reality, I will probably never be able to be perfect when it comes to these type of things. And when I say not perfect, I mean like I have had a couple of Peachios, here and there. I have had a couple of candy corn. I have handfuls of cereal whenever I walk in the kitchen, and Life cereal is sitting on the counter. But overall, I feel like I have done really, really well. My weight fluctuates daily. I do hop on the scale. I mean, I know the scale is not supposed to be our friend, but for me, I'd like to kind of see where I'm at. And my weight, I don't know if this is normal because I've never been a big person on weight, but mine fluctuates daily. Like I will be down one day, I think my lowest so far this whole thing has been 125, and then the next day I'll be back up to 127. So I try to think, what was that I ate. I've been really learning and researching a lot about water weight and what causes that, and and then like PMS and menstrual cycle, which is going on now, so the weight's up a little bit.
The
Feeling bloated.
the daily variance in women so much more of a disparaged of a bigger deficit, I should say, than men on the daily.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
which is interesting too, because I feel like I'm almost at my 30 days, and I have not been done horrible. But my weight is not at the lowest that it's been this whole 30 days. So right now I'm up a couple pounds, not at where I started, which is I think like 130, almost 135. It's staying down, but it's up and down. Which gets frustrating because I want it to be down by the time this is done, but we'll see what happens in the next few days. But yeah, so it's interesting to me because overall though I feel actually really really good. Usually by now, knocking on wood, I get a massive 3 to 4 day migraine with during my menstrual cycle. TMI, but it's life, and I've felt like it was coming. I've been able to prevent it from hitting. I've done my Peloton ride every day. So yeah. So and my clothes and everything feel good. Like I can definitely feel a difference in the way things are fitting right now. And my jeans, there's not that extra wiggle, sucking a little bit to get them to button. Everything's fitting really nice, which I know is a huge indicator of your body's changing and you're doing something right. So
even though we have the Peloton here and you've been damn good about it, and even though we hit that and hit the little weights that we do have here, I'd like to see what your results would have been had we been going to the gym 6 days a week like we normally do.
Right.
Because if we could have topped the calories that we burn with the type of weights that we do there, I know the visual effects would be much different because it's so much easier to tone and do what we did at a gym. So I'd be anxious to see what this would look like with a 30-day gym.
I feel like I've done pretty good consistent with the weights though. I know I try to do them at least 3 days a week, and I'm only doing about 25-30 minute workouts out in our backyard because it is a little bit difficult to completely get into things, but I am I'll try, like my thing will be I'll do some heavy deadlifts because I know that's burning a lot of calories and helping with muscle toning and stuff. So but yeah, like we haven't obviously been able to go to the gym in quite some time, so but no, overall I feel good though. I will I didn't do I did my first day photos, and I meant to do 15-day photos. And Ashley, the one I'm doing this detox through, I had told her I was going to, but it so happened that the 15th day landed on when I went out of town for the weekend, and I had a burrito, and I had dessert, and I had a Butterfinger. So I didn't even get on the scale that next day because I was like, we're just not going to go there. So I will do photos at the very end. I don't know if I'm going to see a huge difference, but ultimately I feel good, mentally and physically. So we'll see.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. And one of the things that I've always tried to tell Jamie is when she's looking, like she said, with the scale, she just wants to make sure she's still on the right path, going the right direction, even though there is that daily fluctuation. But, for her, she, like when I lose my weight, there's so much more, the numbers are going to be bigger because there's so much more, it just as a bigger person that it's going to be big. My numbers are going to be big. And I don't want her to get, not discouraged, but she's already so small that her weight's going to be so minimal that when she gets to a point where she can't get lower, it's going to be just about toning muscle or whatnot. And I know that she can do what she wants when it comes to deciding, but that your numbers just also aren't going to be big because you're so small already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess yeah, you can hold on to that, bud. Thank you. Good job. Yeah, no, for sure. I also know, like, if I was being consistent, like our daily weight training workouts, I know muscle and fat and all that whole, fluctuation as well. Like some people's scales going up, but they're getting smaller, but because of the, muscle mass or whatever. But
Yeah.
I know that's not totally the case right now. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I always get on the scale hoping it's gonna go down, but I know I try not to put too much emphasis on that. Especially like with women, they always say you can feel it in your body, and I definitely can this time. This is probably the most consistent, and I know you've even seen it, that I've been with a challenge or putting
Yes.
myself through something. Like
Yeah.
doing my daily shakes and getting my greens in and all that stuff. So
But
we'll
even
see.
but even so, like last night we were out all day. Got to the beach at probably 9:45. Was there till 6. Got dinner on the way home, and she got on the bike at 8:30, 8
Yeah.
o'clock, 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
8:30 at night because she wanted to get it in. So I give her props for definitely. It just seems like her mindset is a little bit different. She's enjoying little bits here and there, and not doing what we used to do just every day, just
Indulging.
indulging. So I think
I
your
even had ice cream
mindset.
yesterday. I did have an ice cream last night from McDonald's, and um, I I had that little bit of guilt feeling after, but it tasted amazing, and I still feel good. So I have no regrets, and today probably won't be perfect either. I will eat. We have I have my cousin coming into town, a birthday party to go to. I guarantee there's gonna be cupcakes. I'm eating a cupcake.
But
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 it's
but see now, I think because you ate that ice cream, that was even more encouragement to be like, okay, I need to get on the bike now because I had this ice cream. Like I'm
yeah,
sure
that's
that was
true. I did eat the ice cream and dinner, and I did get on the bike after.
I'm
So
sure that was probably part of your thought process. Well, I did eat, a few extra 100 calories, so maybe I'll just go offset it by jumping on the bike right now. So probably did help, but
no.
I think you would have gotten on it anyway had you not
Well,
had the
I'm
ice cream.
also
So
quite a few of my girlfriends have Pelotons, girlfriends slash acquaintances. There's a lot of us that have, watch each other's stories and see I post my Peloton photo every single day. And so we've kind of started holding each other accountable. So when I get tagged, in someone's accountability post that, hey, I'm getting my ride in, that's in the back of my mind too. Like I had said, I'll get it in later tonight. I didn't have time yet this morning. And so that was in the back of my mind too. So if you have some people that can, push each other and hold you accountable, it helps because I didn't want to go like, shoot, I said I was going to do it and I didn't do it, so I got on there last night and tagged those peeps too. So
I've done on the Peloton maybe probably 6 or 7 different riders. I have a problem with the music on there. I really look more through the playlists than I do what the ride's going to be because there's a lot of bad music on there. But there is
that I like.
that she likes. But there is a girl. Her name's Kendall, and she does. I prefer hip hop, or rap, which is in the hip hop category. But she does some metal track lists, and they are really good tracks. But she's probably the hardest that of all the trainers that I've gone under. Her warm ups are batshit crazy. And after you get done with the warm-up, she said, "All right, that was the easiest." Like, normally some of the rides you have, flat roads or where your cadence or resistance is really low, but she just the whole fucking time you can go on there for a 20-minute workout and you felt like you felt really really long. So
Yeah, it's actually really funny because he uses a variety, but I hear him use her a lot, and I can hear her, and I'm like, oh my god, I think I would die. Where I use one instructor, coach, whatever they go by, Cody. And if you're on the Peloton, you know who Cody is because he's the best. I absolutely love him. Like I truly like I hate cardio and I never done spin classes in my life until we got this Peloton. And he makes me enjoy it. Like I find myself dying, but I'm laughing. I'm wanting to dance with him through it. Like I am just having so much fun with him. Like you want him to be your BFF.
she got a fucking Cody shirt.
Yes. So Cody starting, I think on the Tuesday or Thursday or something, he has he's going to be doing these classes like during his classes called XOXO Cody. And
Oh, I thought it had started already.
no, it hasn't started yet, but he had merch with XOXO Cody. I literally bought a Peloton Cody shirt and I've already wore it. He didn't so much comment. He did XOXO on my post, so it's like fangirl moment. Like he's super super fun, but he plays my Britney Spears and my Christina Aguilera and
Boy
all
band
those
groups.
yeah some 90s hip hop, or no, more like 90s pop. He does some 80s, but he's just a lot of fun. And so he's the only one that I use. And so it's kind of funny because I have not experimented with any others. And I feel like I'm so partial that I will be like, I'm going to go back to Cody.
Probably.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so check those classes out if you have a Peloton. They should be pretty fun. So,
Yes. Speaking of 80s and 90s, one of the topics we wanted to hit on today, and that's because it's that time of year. We are, what is it today, September 4th, 5th?
no, it's like the 8th.
The 8th?
Oh, it's the 5th.
The 5th? Wow. And a lot of the holiday Halloween movies and TV shows are starting to get thrown up on all the streaming services. And Jamie and I started a new sci-fi show last night that's kind of a sci-fi thriller on HBO called Raised by Wolves. And so we wanted to talk about scary movies that we watched as kids. I know Jamie used to love scary movies a lot more than she does now. But we thought it'd be a fun topic since I think fall starts September 22nd or September 23rd. One of those days. And Halloween will be here before you know it. So I just, wanted to recall some of the favorites. What was one of the first scary movies, whether you watched by choice or watched by maybe your parents or a friend watched it? Do you remember what the first movie that really scared you was?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember which one. There's so many, but it was obviously I was little, like probably Cruz's age, about 7, almost 7.
Oh,
maybe.
shit.
And my mom and sister put it on. My mom said I could sit with her and watch it, and she covered my eyes during part of it. Like I remember we were sitting on our big old couch. I was laying with my head on my mom's like lap with a pillow or something, and I remember I was getting kind of scared, so she covered my eyes.
Had she seen it though?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
And she covered my eyes. Well, because my family was very big on, it's just pretend. He's not real. Like, it's just pretend. And so, I always said that, it's just pretend. But she covered my eyes. Well, because I don't know what was happening during that part. And I fell asleep. So she kept my eyes covered so long, I ended up falling asleep. But that was my first, scary movie encounter that I remember. I remember going to the movie theater with my mom and sister and cousin, and we saw The Blob.
I never saw that.
And there was a movie theater scene. And
oh my God.
It was scary. Like, we're sitting in the theater. There was only us, and my sister was
That's where your movie theater trauma came from today.
Probably. It was a movie theater scene. I remember my sister was teenager, so my cousin was just a little bit older than my sister. And so I'm 4 years younger, so I was a little bit younger. And then my mom. And it was just us in a row together. And then probably about 4 or 5 rows back behind us was a big group of boys. So my sister and cousin, being teenagers, were like, teenage boys or whatever. And then this movie theater scene hits. And this is the remake of The Blob. So I think there's a black and white Blob, but this is actually the remake, which is probably still so old. And everybody's in the theater, and there's a part that Blob is on top of the ceiling, but nobody sees it. If you've ever seen the Blob, if the Blob gets you, it eats you alive. You just disappear into this big thing of slime. And the Blob starts dripping down on the people in the movie theater audience. Well, all of a sudden, we start feeling things hitting us, bouncing off of us, and my cousin's screaming and being dramatic, because it's she's like, it's the Blob, because it was that scene. My mom gets pissed and stands up and turns around and looks at the teenage group of boys and says, your asses better not be throwing stuff at us, and trying to scare my girls. And she's yelling and stuff. Well, then the movie ends. The throwing of whatever's bouncing off of us is stopped. The movie ends, and the workers come out, and they're laughing, and they start picking up Play-Doh chunks all over the floor. So it was they were doing it for special effects during the movie from the top,
God.
Throwing it. So these kids are laughing because they know they're not doing anything. They probably were getting hit by stuff too. But yeah, so I always remember that too. Oh, my mom, again, she's pissed, and my sister and cousin being teenagers, oh my gosh, hee hee. But it ended up being a theater thing, which is kind of funny now because they would never do something like that in a theater now. Somebody would probably flip out and kill somebody. But
I don't know which came first because we weren't allowed to really watch slasher movies. My mom was more into the supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know what came first, but I know Arachnophobia and Poltergeist and I know Arachnophobia is not considered a horror movie. It's probably more under the thriller suspense category.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of the ones that scared. I mean, that's why I hated spiders as a kid.
Your mom took you to the theater to see it too, huh?
I can't remember.
I think it was just the two of you.
But they I hated spiders so much that they put plastic spiders on the Christmas tree to keep me away from it during
Yeah,
Christmas.
I literally just told my client one of that
Oh,
story
for
too.
real?
They have a little one, so they're like, I don't know what we're gonna do at Christmas time with our Christmas tree with a toddler. And I said, well, they don't like spiders. You can put those little black plastic Halloween spiders all over it. That's what my husband's family did to him.
Um, so that movie was just like traumatizing as a fucking kid. And then Poltergeist, obviously that's what turned everybody against clowns.
There's no clowns in Poltergeist.
Yes, how when he right before the tree comes through the window, and the clown that's sitting in the chair.
Oh, I guess that to me doesn't make me think of like a big part. I always just think of her hand on the TV. They're back.
Yeah, for some reason that clown was just, maybe
And the
that's
big hole that just like sucks them all out the closet.
maybe the clown is scary because also it, the original It that I had watched, that was. Taryn, you watched It as a kid. You probably read the book.
I read the book. Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched It at a very early age, and those three were probably the earliest ones that I remember. Like, okay, this is.
I mean, he talks about like being traumatized as a child, and yet our kid, he scares him and makes him watch things with Pennywise, and he does not like him. He's like, Daddy made me watch Pennywise, huh? And he does not like that.
So those might have been the first ones that you watched, but what did you, like you and your friends as you got older, what did you come to like? Like I know that you were a Pet Sematary fan,
So
yeah?
all Stephen King. Like
All
I love
Stephen
Stephen
King,
King
okay.
movies. I love Stephen King books. Like that was definitely I probably still have nightmares, but I mean if you liked scary books, like Stephen King was so good. And so Cujo was one of my favorites.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
The book and the movie.
Shit.
Cujo freaked me out. But it was so good. And then yes, Pet Sematary. So Pet Sematary, the first one, my best friend, growing up, and I would watch it almost every single weekend and scare ourselves. We would, talk about different parts of the movie while we were trying to go to sleep and, get these visuals of this creepy people standing in our doorway. Carrie,
Fuck,
oh God,
forgot about
that's super
that, too.
scary. What else? What else am I forgetting? Oh, Children of the Corn. Oh man, the old original one.
I never watched that
so
until her.
scary. So now there's remakes, obviously, but yeah. So I still to this day when people name their kid Malachi, I'm like, have you not seen Children of the Corn? So that one was super scary. Yeah, I remember watching a really old one, and it was scary. The birds. And the birds all like the kid, everybody's hiding in the schoolhouse, and all the birds just attack and kill. Obviously now watching them, they're funny because they're not as scary as they were. Those ones now, Carrie, Cujo, those ones still scare me, even though I know what's going to happen. Pet Sematary 2, I really, really like, but that was only because I was on this big, huge Edward Furlong kick. So Pet Sematary 2 and Terminator 2 came out around the same time, and he was my teenage heartthrob, although he's not so great now. But yeah, so and then things like Scream started coming out, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I really liked those as I got older, but I will watch scary movies now, but I cover my eyes, and I am such a chicken. Like I feel like obviously they're even scarier these days with the effects, and everything looks even that much more real,
Yeah.
And so they're pretty intense, and I will lose sleep over scary things, but there's just something about that thrill of watching a good horror movie for sure. Oh, the Blair Witch Project.
I never saw that.
That one, so funny story with the Blair Witch Project. I was living in SLO, and I remember Shauna, my roommate, and I went over to another friend that we grew up with, our kindergarten friend, Kevin, and people still had VHS then. So just that's how long this ago this has been. So he put in a VHS movie, and he's like, hey, my friend gave this to me. We need to check this out. And so I had never heard of the Blair Witch Project. I had no idea this was a movie that was coming out soon. He had a bootleg copy on a VHS. So, VHS quality is
Probably made it
already
even look.
pretty shady. And so he puts it in, and if you've seen the Blair Witch Project, the first one, it's recorded from like a handheld video camera. And so putting it on VHS, it just looked that much more real. And we had no clue that it wasn't a real thing for the longest time. So I really was disturbed by it because if you've seen it, you know these people all disappear camping. They don't ever. I mean, the
Oh,
girl's
God.
talking into the camera, like all her friends are missing. She's so scared. Her nose is running. Like I legit gave these people props for their acting because I was like, I couldn't sleep. Like I literally was like, where did these people
Wow.
go? What happened to them? Because again, they recorded on a handheld video camera and it was on a VHS bootleg copy, so the quality was already pretty shitty. So it was like, we left. They knew our
That's
friends that
hilarious.
made us watch it knew it was fake, but they didn't tell us because they thought it was just the funniest thing that we literally were like left like completely quiet. I remember driving back to our apartment just quiet, like that was so scary. Like
That's
I'm
funny.
so scared. I did not find
Speechless.
out that it was fake until I was watching like Entertainment Tonight and the cast was on being interviewed because the movie was about to premiere.
Oh shit.
And I was like, what? Like literally WTF moment. I messed up. I remember calling Shauna and we were like, what in the heck? Like we had no idea up for so long that this movie was actually fake. And actually, I have to admit, it kind of took away the whole like appeal of it. Like even though like I was so disturbed, it really did bum me out that like well, that wasn't even freaking real. Like that was fake this whole time. Like, but yeah, so it was funny for sure.
That's funny. Did you watch Misery?
Yeah, favorite book.
Favorite
One
book?
of my favorite books, and love Kathy Bates in it. Yeah, so good.
Um,
Scary.
I wasn't able, once again, even though it was to me supernatural, we weren't allowed to watch the exorcisms and all that. And I know, I still haven't watched them to this day just because they really didn't seem interesting to me. But I know that those have been talked about. Some of
There's
the
so
first
many of
scary
them, though.
movies.
Like there's so many exorcism movies.
Now, in today's modern world, a lot of the scary movies that come out are kind of like almost scary movie comedies where they're becoming weird cult classics, but there is a genre that's still, whether it's supernatural or whatever, that are coming out that are really good. And Jordan Peele, his Get Out, that was terrifying. I know he had the one with the family also that just came out. Was that called Us? I think that was called Us. And where the family had like a mirrored family that looked just like them, but they were all tormented, and he's had some really good ones come out lately.
Yeah, his are good. His are intense.
But these days it's hard to really find a good classic. I just watched The Fly for the first time maybe a year or two ago because Jamie.
And ever since The Fly, watching it as a kid, I do not like that actor because that's all I see is him.
And
as
Jeff
Fly.
Goldblum's so amazing. So
I don't like watching him in movies. Like all I see is the fly and his flesh falling off and him twitching, doing weird things like a fly. Like
Jaws and Piranha. Piranha terrified me.
Piranha was scary.
Piranha was so goddamn
That was scary. Remember the guy
scary.
just comes out and he just has holes all over. Like, no, Piranha was scary. Jaws was always scary. I'll ever forget like the banana boat part where all the kids are on the banana boat in the ocean and he just is coming up out of nowhere on Jaws. In the first ones, the early days, those are scary. I remember, you probably never saw it. It was one of those stupid going to the video store, wandering around and just picking a stupid scary movie because you wanted something to watch. And it was called Ticks.
Why does that sound
Oh, it was yucky.
familiar?
Like, but the ticks would go in the skin and up and through. I hate things that show underneath the skin and it would grow and just it was crawling up, it was scary. And that was yucky. But yeah, 1993.
Maybe not. Is that John C. Reilly?
I don't know, but it was yucky.
I don't know, maybe
like
not.
Certain things like that. I don't like creepy crawly under my skin type stuff. That just makes me gross out. Ooh, Alien. Alien was good. Alien and the early ones. I remember I was super disappointed to see Alien versus Predator because those are two really good movies that I was like, oh, bringing them together is going to be badass. And those together weren't so good.
I never watched the Predator movies.
No, the Alien vs. Predator was pretty stupid, actually. I thought it was dumb.
And I know a lot of lines from this, but I honestly have never seen it, and that's Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't
The
remember.
Grudge scared me.
I'm trying to... Is that the one if you answer the phone, then...
I can't remember.
No.
I don't remember.
There's a
Remember
lot.
The Ring?
Like,
The Ring was really scary.
The Ring is the one where you answer the phone.
Oh.
Duh.
No, The Ring is the one where you watch the video and it has the ring in the TV.
I know, but I think when you watch the video, I think that the phone rings.
Oh, does it? I don't remember. I just remember that one was weird. It's like, oh, great, now that you watched The Ring.
Oh, is this what you were talking about? The Birds?
Yeah.
1963? Yeah. Wow.
Well, that's what I mean. It was super old, but it was scary.
Yeah, I never saw that one. Alien, 1979. But, Yeah, I thought that that'd be fun with everything. Some of the new ones, like The Conjuring and Sinister, there's so many of them now. Like they make The Conjuring 1, 2, 3. Like
Yeah.
everything turns into a series now, and I don't know how long.
Carrie. That's yeah. Our Scream told you.
Scream was fun. Those were
Yeah.
I really
There's
liked
this
that.
Freddy's.
I never watched any.
Halloween's were scary.
I never watched any of those.
Shining's obviously scary.
The Shining.
Psycho. That's funny.
Stephen King also has a movie called The Mist, which is, oh my gosh.
That was funny that I hadn't watched. I think I had read the book, but I had not watched that till you. But I did not remember it
The
until we
ending
watched
of
it,
that
and I
one
was like, "That did not just happen."
insane. Yeah.
It's terrible.
So, anyways, I thought that'd be fun just to capture a little bit of some horror movies. They're always fun to put on, even if I know Jamie's gonna be covering her face. If she finds one that she loves, like I will put on Children of the Corn for the first time for me to watch it, and she'll sit there and watch the whole fucking thing without batting an eye.
But the hard part is that usually because they're older movies, he rips them apart. And like whether it's my 90s cheesy movies or that I love, or it's my scary movies that truly scare me, even though I know what's going to happen, like he'll end up freaking ruining it because he's like rolling his eyes and making faces.
But even, it's, and I don't mean to, but The Lost Boys is a great movie.
That's one of my favorites.
But
that is actually probably, I don't even know how I forgot that one. That is in my top favorites of like scary movies.
But you watch that and there's
The
just
music.
parts of the movie that are like, oh my god, I can't believe this was big, or that this
One time
flew
you have
by.
Corey, the Corey Feldman and Corey Haim something, it's probably so cheesy, because they were so popular, but their movies are so funny.
I still, to this day, think that the main character, the big brother in that movie, looks like George Michaels.
Shane, I think his name is, well, I think it's because the big hair in his eyes.
Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
But yeah. So
Kiefer Sutherland.
oh my gosh,
That's
yeah.
funny.
So for any of you guys that like your scary movies, horror movies during Halloween, let us know what your favorite ones are in the comments, or go to our Instagram page. I'll make a post of this. This probably won't come out until Monday or Tuesday, since it is a holiday weekend. But I'll post this on Instagram, and you guys can let us know what your favorite scary movies are. But yeah, I thought that would be a fun topic before we move on to. We're gonna finish this out. We haven't done this in a couple weeks, but we're gonna finish out with some memes. And do you have a quote too, or just memes?
There's a quote in there too.
Alrighty, so let's see. Was this?
Yeah, it's got some puns for you.
Oh, all right. Oh, great.
What did the daughter corn ask the mother corn? Where's the popcorn?
So,
Get it?
how did you find? Yes, I get it. How did you find it?
Mother corn, daughter corn, pop. Like
Yeah,
people
oh
call
my
their
God.
dads pop.
Pop.
Popcorn.
Thanks for clarifying that, babe.
Just in case you
I
didn't
didn't
get
know
it.
what it was.
So not everybody calls their dad pop, but
No.
hey pop. All right. So this one's just funny. So you have to see it in order to get the funny part. But so it's somebody's Twitter or whatever, and it says, "At the end of the day, we are all human beings." But it's
Oh my
human,
God.
and then the word beans, like baked beans. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. And so then people started playing off of that. This poor person and their horrible grammar.
Oh my
And then the next person said, "And together we will rice, not rise, rice." And then the next person said, "Ramen." Like.
What did that person
Oh
say?
yeah, and then I missed another comment. Someone said, "Let us," like lettuce, like lettuce,
Lettuce,
like in the
salad,
salad.
lettuce.
Let us pray. And then after that, someone said ramen, like amen, but ramen.
Oh my
You have to see it.
gosh.
I'll post it in our story just so you can see it for itself, because those things make me laugh out loud.
That
Like
is
I'm
good.
always like, people are I mean, it's just clever. I just think people, this poor person put like, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, meaning like we're all, in this together, we'll be kind, love one another. I knew I get what he was probably trying to
Yes.
say. But the fact that everybody together, we will rice, let us pray, and ramen. I just love it.
So one thing that you would have loved back in the day, I'll have to find if they still do it, but the Chive, for those of you that are familiar with the Chive, every week they used to have top comments of the week. and it'd be from either
Stuff
YouTube
like
or
this.
Facebook, and it'd be exactly shit like this.
Yeah.
And they did it every week. They'd find top comments. You would have loved that category.
I love that way. I'll get lost in people's comments when they're just playing off of each other, and it
Yes.
just cracks me up because I'm like, why wouldn't I think of something like that?
Because these people humor is similar to everybody that posted above them because they're like, yes, and
Yes.
they're going for.
I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the
Oh.
last one I think is so funny. It's
Oh my god.
it's actually Sam shared it on her Facebook, and I threw it in my story, and I've got so many people laughing at it. You have to see the picture, but it's two couches together, and on one couch is graham crackers and a chocolate bar holding hands, and they're having drinks, and they're saying we have a proposition, and they're looking at the other couch, which is a smiling little little marshmallow holding a can or drinking, and it's just cute because you get what their proposition is. They're about to ask for a threesome because they want to throw the marshmallow into them like a little sandwich, and I just think it's such a funny, cute little concept. Like
It is funny.
it's whoever drew it. Like, what is that? Will Santino.
Will Santino, yeah.
So cute. Like, I totally think it's the cutest little picture, and it's just cute, fun humor.
Yeah, that's funny.
I like it. This one, just a funny. So this was just something funny. It says, hoping to get reincarnated as Miss Potato Head so I can store snacks in my butt. And that's just somebody's Twitter or whatever. And I just thought that was funny. That's it for my humor. The last one is my quote.
All right.
And do you want me to do that too?
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll knock my two out.
I've actually shared this already, and I got a lot of people to reshare it in their stories and stuff. It's a picture of Jim Carrey, and it says, Jim Carrey once said, have I researched to see if Jim Carrey actually said this? No, I'm just going with it. I know there's a lot of quotes out there. People say so-and-so said it, and then you can find another one that says somebody else said it. I don't know, but I really liked what it said.
It's like the one quote that says, Abraham
Abraham
Lincoln once said that anything can be a dildo.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
stuff
said
like that. Like, you just never know, But anyway, so I really like this. And it just says, Jim Carrey once said, I always feel happy. You know why? Because I don't expect anything from anyone. Expectations always hurt. Life is short, so love your life, be happy, and keep smiling. Just live for yourself, and before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Before you spend, earn. Before you pray, forgive. Before you hurt, feel. Before you hate, love. Before you quit, try. Before you die, live. And I can read that every day.
Yeah.
And I really, whether Jim Carrey said it or somebody else, whoever, kudos to you, whoever created that. I love it. I just, I always will hashtag a lot of my stuff, like hashtag annoyingly positive, because I know I'm kind of one of those ones that's always trying to find that silver lining, and I try to post really positive stuff, even, if it's a bad day and life is heavy. I really try to keep things on the happy side because there is so much negativity always, not just lately, just not because of everything going on in the world, but I mean, there is a lot of negativity. And so I just really loved that whole part about, being happy and loving your life and just live for yourself. And then that whole part at the bottom, before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Like, just putting some thought into everything before you actually do it, So anyway, I really, really like that. And it's just something I can reflect back to on a daily basis.
No, I really like this one. That's a good one. That's one to say for sure. I wanted to share, before I finish with my quote and we get on out of here, I wanted to share this post that I just saw by Gary V before we started. And it's, 4 pictures of him. I'll post this. It says 4 pictures of him when he's speaking. He's a football fan. He's got some Sidewinder toys, and then he's got a picture of French fries in his mouth, nose, and ears. And it says, when you got range, you got happiness. And it ranges in quotes. And then he goes on to say in his post, be about different shit. So many stay in one lane, are about one thing, have every post on social media look the same. Mix your shit up. We all got many sides to us. Feel free to expand on all of them. And I just like this because it's, life is too short to, just focus on one thing. And as busy and as successful as he is, he really does have so many different sides that, he does because he loves. And I just love that. It kind of makes me think, don't, pursue. It's okay to pursue one thing, but make sure that you are enjoying other facets of life that you do enjoy doing in the short time that we are here. So I just wanted to share that real quick because I saw it right before we started, and I really love that post.
Mm-hmm.
One of the better ones, I think. He does they're all fire, but that one really stood out to me. And my quote to finish us off is by Arthur Golden, or Abe Lincoln, or Jim Carrey. Now Jamie's got it in my head that who knows
I
who's
might have
who.
said it might be for me.
Yes. So, a mind troubled by doubt cannot focus on the course to victory. And this couldn't be more true in any facet of life. I just think that if you are doubting yourself, or have any doubts about what you're doing, it is going to be harder for you to focus on what the task at hand is. So I just like this quote. You can plug it into anything you're doing, whether it's fitness, whether it's career. Stood out to me today.
Yep. True that.
All right. Well, you got anything else, babe?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. Well, we have a busy day. We're going to head out and get out of the heat. And, yeah, we will be back next week. We hope you all enjoy Labor Day. Be safe. The traffic out there is nasty already.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, we love you guys. Go subscribe to Salty Blowie on Instagram.